Hello everyone, this is Dorothea, Air Post Creations 2021. Today is Saturday. I wish you all a wonderful day. I hope you had a good day so far. And let me start with a quote that I found today online. It's from Dr. Deepak Chopra, the great spiritual leader. And the quote reads, "Nothing can ever get in the way of pure love." I fully agree, and I like to share it, so I did share it. Okay? Next, a juice I made it fresh this morning. Look at the beautiful color. It is made with 2 cucumbers, 3 carrots, 2 beets, and 2 pear. I will take a sip later. I just wanted to show it. And now I like to start introducing the story called the Gilgamesh Epic. And it is under the heading The Dawn of Western Religions. And this dawn of Western religions started in Sumer in Mesopotamia as the earliest known civilization, emerging there during the Chalcolithic and early Bronze Age between the 6th and the 5th millennium BC. Here in Mesopotamia, as well as places like Egypt or the Indus Valley civilizations, which are Afghanistan, Pakistan, and northwestern India, and the Minoan civilization, which are the islands of Crete and other Aegean islands, plus ancient China, have been of great importance in the development of human history. When we talk about Sumer in Mesopotamia, we also have to talk about Egypt, because Sumer had 2 important rivers, the Euphrates and the Tigris, which both were running into the Nile in Egypt. There was a huge wasteland or desert which isolated Egypt in the east and west, and during the reign of the pharaoh Menes in 3100 BCE, Memphis was the dividing line for Upper and Lower Egypt. The desert in Egypt was responsible for people moving into Mesopotamia, because there in Mesopotamia there was the so-called Fertile Crescent, where plants did grow, the grass was green and wonderful, luscious, and people had food because of it. Egypt and Mesopotamia mingled a lot, is written down in here in my notes, and it is said that Egypt copied a lot from Mesopotamia. This is important later, that's why Egypt comes in right here too, because later when I will talk about the development of Judaism and Christianity in ancient times, we all know that Egypt played a great role in the Christian Bible, in the Jewish Bible, or the Jewish writings and sacred writings. And so it's important to know that Egypt also was connected to Mesopotamia that reason, because of the rivers flowing there to the Nile, and also lots of people from that region moved into Mesopotamia for a better life, because we all know in a desert you cannot do much in a desert region, so that forced the people to move in other places. So Mesopotamia had a wide variety of different people moving in, so the culture was also impacted by it all. Okay, the Epic of Gilgamesh is perhaps the oldest written story. There are 12 clay tablets in cuneiform script telling the story of the historical king of Uruk, U-R-U-K, somewhere between 2750 and 2500 BCE. The king was a hero in ancient Mesopotamian mythology and a historical king of the Sumerian city-state of Uruk. The tales of Gilgamesh are told in 5 surviving Sumerian poems. One of the 5 stories is the story of Gilgamesh, Enkidu, E-N-K-I-D-U, and the Netherworld. Enkidu is later on a friend of Gilgamesh, but at one point in life they both did fight each other, but then later on they made up and became friends. Okay, and the story goes, or part of the story, at a time it was planted a tree, a single tree, by the banks of the great river called Enki, E-N-K-I. The father did plant the Halabba tree, H-U-L-U-P-P-U tree, the god of wisdom. He planted it by the banks of the Euphrates before he set sail, before the father departed to the underworld. The tree was nurtured by the waters of Euphrates, the very waters that carried Enki to the sea. Inanna, she comes in now, I-N-N-A-N-A. She is important in the story of the Halabba tree. It was Inanna who brought the Halabba tree from the bank of the Euphrates to Uruk. So, who was she, this Inanna? Inanna is one of the oldest deities of ancient Sumer, and she was a Mesopotamian goddess associated with love, beauty, sex, war, justice, and political power. She was worshipped in Sumer under the name Inanna and was later worshipped by the Akkadians, Babylonians, and Assyrians under the name Ishtar. So she was taken over later by these 3, Akkadians, Babylonians, and Assyrians, and they just renamed her Ishtar. And we all know that happened a lot. There were gods from the Roman Empire. They became their own names after they were taken over by the Greeks and so forth. So that we will go into that later on too. Okay? So Inanna, she is associated with the planet Venus, and her most prominent symbols are the lion and the 8-pointed star. Inanna is known as the Queen of Heaven, and she was the patron goddess of the Eanna, E-A-N-N-A, temple at the city of Uruk, which was her main cult center. After Inanna brought the halaba tree to Uruk, the tree became infested by all kinds of things, a snake and other stuff and other creatures, and Gilgamesh comes to the aid of the goddess Inanna and drives all the creatures that disturb the tree, drives them all away. In the Gilgamesh Epic, before Gilgamesh and Enkidu end up as friends, they fight a long battle. Gilgamesh finally wins and they become friends, and together they kill a monster called Huwawa, Huwawa. The Gilgamesh Epic is kind of a half-breed. It is divine and also human. The people in the story have to work real hard, and they finally complain to the goddess Aruru, A-R-U-R-U. She creates Enkidu, E-N-K-I-D-U, the later friend of Gilgamesh. In the Gilgamesh Epic are Aruru, Enkidu, Shamhat, Huwawa, Ishtar, and Utnapishtim. There is a so-called Babylonian version called Enuma Elish. Yeah, I spell that E-N-U-M-A and Elish, E-L-I-S-H. The story here is about the union of heaven and earth. But first, the water had to mingle together to give rise to the first gods. Apsu, A-P-S-U, is fresh water and male, and Tiamat, T-I-A-M-A-T, is salt water and female. Apsu, the fresh water, is Tigris and Euphrates, and Tiamat is the salt water and the Gulf. Before both waters, the fresh water and the salt water, mingle together, and the god of Babylon, called Marduk, is born, there is a battle going on between son and father. Both heaven and earth in the story here are male, because at the time it was written down, it was a very patriarchal society. And it is suggested that that is the reason why both heaven and earth were portrayed male. The sun is called Ea, E-A, and is the earth, and he is slaying Apsu, A-P-S-U, the heaven, and his father. This angers Tiamat, the salt water, and she makes a great storm, with waves appearing and flooding the area. After this, things finally settle down, and the fresh water and the salt water mingle together to create the god of Babylon, called Marduk, M-E-R-D-U-K. And that's the story. It's a short story, but it just shows how people started to, had to get ideas of creation and thought of things, how it might all work together. And they looked at the nature, they looked at the waters, they looked at the heaven, they looked at earth, and they just had to create something to make it all work for them, to find some kind of spirituality in all of it. And this is the story of the Gilgamesh Epic, of an early, very early time where people try to make sense of it all. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed it. I hope that was a little bit interesting to you. And on Monday, I think I start with Hinduism. I mentioned before that it's kind of scary for me to do it, the Hinduism, because it's the most difficult to me, the most difficult of all religions, because it has so much in it. It packs the whole universe in it, so to speak. And to make sense of it all, I think I need several videos. I have to break it down in little videos to not get us all confused, myself included. Okay, so I hope on Monday it will start off nice with Hinduism. I don't know yet how I do it, if I first put a little history first and then work the way up, or how I do it, I have no clue, but I have to work on it tomorrow and find out how to start Hinduism. Okay, so I hope that many will join me on Monday and listen in to learn a little bit about Hinduism. I will not do it as good as the old masters that are online, the real Hindus and the real Indian masters and spiritual people. I can never match them. I know that, and my channel is not for that. My channel is for bringing to you all things a little bit in another way, as a kind of a lay person, because I myself am a lay person. I am by no means a perfect religion inclined or religion educated person. I just got a little bit from all the different religions. I so-called, well, how shall I say it? I put my nose in all of it, but I never mastered it in that sense that I can call myself a real professional person in any of the religions. But I'm kind of like all of you. I like to learn things and know things in a smaller sense, but still enough so that we can understand how it all comes together. And I think we also need people, lay people like myself, who maybe puts a little bit interest in the movements, the religious movements, and give you a little taste. And I hope I can do it and give you the interest that you want to learn it, that you find it interesting, listening to me. And that's all what I intend with my channel. Okay, so I hope to see you on Monday, and I wish you a wonderful Saturday, rest of Saturday, and a most wonderful Sunday tomorrow. And please come on Monday and listen to me, because I need it. I need the encouragement to become better and to also enjoy it more. I do it for you all. Okay? So thank you for listening to me, and hopefully on Monday I will have some people tuning in and watching the video about Hinduism. Okay? So I wish you a nice weekend. Goodbye.